All right, so I bet y'all are like, man, what does Spike think about this headline that we just had? I don't really do traditional headline videos because I ain't got time for that, and everyone else does those. Y'all don't worry about those, so I just do it like I do these, and I will just come out the gate and I will say, this right here, this roadmap was a little questionable. But of course, hear me out because you already know. Make sure you listen to everything from start to end because never am I the type of person who's going to just come in here and like doom post or talk bad stuff like that. I always see the good and the bad. I see both. I'm not one sided like a lot of people are. So we're gonna go through it all. But this roadmap was questionable when I saw it appear on my screen. Not necessarily because of what was in the roadmap itself in terms of the content, but because of what wasn't. Now, I don't know if this was intentionally excluded. I don't know if this was a mistype or what, but there's nothing story related in this roadmap. Now, I find it very highly unlikely that we're going to go over half a year without anything in the story. I find that highly unlikely. Now, once again, it's not here on this roadmap. So at the end of the day, I'm just being optimistic. If that is the case and we actually do go over half a year without a story, that's problematic. Just straight up, that's problematic. That can't really happen. So if that's actually the case, that actually is an issue. That actually is you can't just go half a year plus 7 8 months with no story. Like that's it just does not work like that. With nothing. So I'm hoping that maybe what happened there was that they just don't know the exact dates yet. So as a result, they didn't put any stories to kind of that would restrict them. They have to meet this deadline. When they're not entirely sure of when these are going to line up properly at. So that's what I'm kind of thinking as to regards to that happening. But let's hope that that's the case. Otherwise, we're moving into a new month. We're gonna have a big festival that we knew that was coming. There's gonna be boosts galore, y'all, and I mean boosts galore. I'm talking they have another 150 scratch, so you log on, you get 10 a day, and then they have a treasure scratch that's going for 3 weeks, and you can get a whole bunch of tickets for you can get like 6 tickets just like for normal daily stuff on top of the tickets within the urgent quest, which is pretty crazy. Pretty much do like July is like a dream to just like get stuff. Pretty much like if after July you're sitting here and you're like, dude, I don't have the materials for this or that, for that, for this, for that, for this, for two, then it's just like, bro, I don't know what you're doing, my guy. I don't know what you're doing because these are the materials that have been popping left and right. They're reintroducing Dark Falls, Malignant Dark Falls Aegis, the Urgent Quest, and there's double, and they're updating the pool. So you're going to have Aerodem and Wingard in there as well. That's a pretty fun fight, so I'm okay with that Urgent Quest being the one that they selected. That's one's pretty good to do. Of course, that means we'll have a seasonal shop as well. So there's going to be seasonal events and all the goody good galore going on there. So we'll have a seasonal shop that will have lots of goods in it. Of course, it's going to be a new 9-star series. Don't worry about that at all because a new 9-star series that's irrelevant. But for newer players, it's going to be a weapon that's already, I'm sure, probably leveled up to 90 like the previous ones were. Probably not going to be able to be used as fodder material, but it's going to be able to be used for slaying seasonal mobs. But for the most part, don't even worry about that because these things are not going to be relevant. They're 9 stars. We have 11 stars now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just they're not. So these are more so geared towards people who are coming into the game. As you can also see, because they had a lot of campaigns going for returning players as well with the experience boost. Once you reach level 20, you get an experience boost that really bumps you up to level 87, which is actually absurd. I said abstain and absurd. I was trying to say it at the same time. But anyways, you get what I was trying to say. Of course, one thing that's really nice about the seasonal shop is the vital gauges, of course, because vital gauges is, like I said, I've talked about this before, but vital gauges might be like the one thing that we never knew that we needed. Like, I think Vital Gauges have been such a great addition to the game. Just like, it's like the smallest thing, but they're really great. Now, one of the biggest things I'm interested in is this limited time quest, because this one is interesting because they have a limited time quest that they're giving us, and it's for 8 players. And you fight a Rune Griffin, which is a new boss that we have. So this is going to be interesting because always new bosses are always interesting. But what has me interested about this limited time quest is that later on in the month, they're putting this boss, this quest, as a trigger quest. So I'm really interested in that, because why would they do that? So it makes me think that something drops from this. Remember, they did introduce INA variants in an LTQ. INA as in the units, the variants in an LTQ. They did release those. However, they released the original ones outside of an LTQ. I still think it would be weird for them to release units of brand new series in an LTQ. However, I don't see what else. Like, there has to be some incentive for them to put the LTQ to drop the triggers for this quest to go into it as a 4-man. Like, there has to be a reason for that, for it to be, you know, like, that's obviously, like, the fact that they mentioned that, that's obviously an incentive to do the LTQ for a reason, because this thing has something, right? So this one, if there's anything I'm most curious about, it's probably this LTQ, quite frankly, because that's just very interesting. One cool thing about this LTQ as well is that it takes place at a different location every day, including the jungle, high mountains, and the coast, and different characters join each time. So this is pretty neat, nice little new gimmick on the LTQ. But once again, I'm just curious about why they're making this a trigger quest so quickly, and why they advertised the triggers and the LTQ that's coming up after this one, which we'll go over. That's what I'm curious about. So what's in here, I don't know. We'll find out. This guy looks cool. We're going to beat him up real bad. It is what it is. Then you'll also see here that we have a new dual quest. This guy is like Vinogia, which is the boss that's out in the in Lucille that we fight. There's an urgent quest, the Remnants of Ambition, but it's a bigger version, bigger battery version of it. And it seems like the drop pool for dual quest has been updated in this one, as they mentioned that it would drop, you know, vital gauges, it would drop some augments, it would drop better things, which is good, which is very good. Super good on that one. So I'm glad that they did that, because it needs to drop better things in that regard. Dual quests do, because just dropping the fuchsia can be kind of like meh. And then also, to go along with the start of July, we have a bunch of scratch stuff, so you can check this stuff out. Outfits from PSO2 and NGS specs now. So of course, this is always nice for you fashion heads who trying to get your fashion up, trying to get your fashion good, trying to get your fashion hood. You know what I'm saying? It's always good in that regard. You know, some nice weapon camos in here, as well as, of course, some nice summer swimwear. That is, well, how should I put it? Some summer swimwear. As you can kind of see, take a glance at this nice summer swimwear that we got here. Looking fresh and fabulous. Pretty snazzy. Hey there, girl. How you doing? Can I get your number? Anyways, woo! And some lovely breezy summer dresses as well. Not to mention these absolutely amazing freaking dashes and motions and idols, especially this ghost one, which is pretty good. To the kind of the bulk of things is the Mind Strike, which we have coming up as well. Mind Strike, as we have seen, is the card battle that we have. We got some more detailed information about this. We just had some detailed information about it in the interview with Dengeki, but now we get to kind of see it in action, moving there in action. And one of the cool things that we get is that we get BP parts for it in a creative space that's specifically built for playing Line Strike. I think this is actually pretty cool, because it really adds this element to it. You can just go up to the table, one person sits at the chair, the other person sits at the chair, and then boom, it activates Line Strike, and you're in there like swimwear. I think that's actually really freaking cool, pretty freaking neat, quite frankly. So I'll definitely be checking this out. Of course, we'll be checking out, you know, we'll give it the rundown. we'll give it the review. You'll get the whole build deals and stills and pills and stuff like that. Of course, we talked about this in the previous video and some of the mechanics of it, and how the tickets would work and the scratch for the tickets and stuff. This is all mentioned in this as well, so you can check it out. Now, I want to take a second to mention this crazy new PSO2 day that they have coming, Infinite Burst. So, Infinite Burst, this PSO2 day, is going to last for 7 days. Yes, you heard that correctly, for 7 days. And not only are we getting it once, but premium users are getting the same thing at the end of the month. So the close of the month, we will get 7 days for premium users. That's 14 days. That's half the month. Half of the month is going to have a 200% boost if you have premium. That's actually ridiculous. That's actually freaking ridiculous. So this is actually pretty crazy. This is a great time to be running this stuff, to be farming this stuff, because this boost is actually just, it doesn't even make sense why it's that ridiculous. But 7 days is pretty crazy. And so, of course, you're also going to get the 150 draws on the super free SG scratch that we talked about before here, as you can see in the slide. And then playing the super casino campaign, you're going to get boosted SG in the casino on base and casino coin passes as well. For those who run base, obviously this would be a great means of getting SG. I never really talk about or promote downloading base PSO2 in this channel because there's no real need to. And quite frankly, this is not going to get me to download it because I left that game in 2017 and I have no interest in going back to it. And I don't feel like wasting the space on my hard drive. Well, not my hard drive, but my SSD. My SSD for that. Even though I'll probably miss out on a good amount of SG. So, but if you really want the SG and you really want to, go through that, then obviously this is a great option because it looks like there's going to be a lot of SG to be out there. You can already get SG in base regardless anyway, but it looks like there's going to be a lot more to get because of this. So like I said, I don't really like promoting to download base PSO2 or going back to it because it's completely separate from NGS and you don't need it at all in any way, shape, or form. So but this is definitely a ploy and a reason if you want to go that route. However, as you can hear in my voice, I'm pretty reluctant about even recommending that or anything of the sort. So but it's there if you want to. So they'll be doing that. The one thing we definitely want to note here is that the Anaddi scratch is returning. I told y'all this would return. There were people who were in the game. I was talking about this. I was like, dude, we'll see it. We'll see it this month, like 100%. I said at the latest, we'll see it again at the end of this month. I call it that because I know how they're doing it. So we have this coming back. So if you miss out on it, or if you didn't want to pay those prices at the time, be careful of scalpers, of course, then it's coming back. So now is a great chance to get it. And people are 100% going to pull on this. So there are going to be Anaddis on the market. There are going to be Anaddis on the market because these scratch count bonuses, bro, they just threw in the biggest freaking grab of all time by slipping that in the argument transfer pass in the scratch count bonus. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. The Land Gigas Master S was already good. And the preset skill enhancement success and substitute level 4, it's already good. But you threw that in augment transfer pass, not a voucher, but a pass. You know people are going to pull on this one. Absolutely. Absolutely, for that scratch count bonus. So this would be a great time to get that. If you plan to pull on it too, then obviously in the augment transfer pass, that's a very, 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 very valuable item. So and you'll make money off of selling the Anaddis as well. So I would definitely want to talk about that. Take a second to step back and talk about that one because that one's pretty huge.
We'll be holding a fabulous Super Fantasy Festival campaign to celebrate the 12th anniversary of PSO2. From July 2nd until July 31st, there will be a variety of campaigns each week where you will be able to get valuable gifts, as well as enjoy increased rate boosts.
So in part 2, we have this other LTQ coming. This one I was talking about before. So within this LTQ, we've seen this one before. Pretty much you're up here in this little spatial area and you fight all these mobs. And you're competing for quest points. So the thing is, though, is that they're saying that the triggers for that LTQ earlier with the new boss, there's going to be triggers for that LTQ in here for a 4-man version. So I'm just confused about that, because why would they do that unless this guy drops something? You know, a lot of times they like to trickle in the regard of they like to kind of give an early access to players, right? So it's like to the grinders, they like to give an early access on gear, right? It's more difficult to get, and then they kind of make it, you know, more available afterwards, right? They tend to do that. So you have to wonder if that's going to be the case in this. If the unit's a new unit or something is going to be a drop in here, like a really low drop, but a drop nonetheless or something of the sort. You have to wonder that for grinders to try to run this and stuff like that and get it. I don't know. This is all speculation. So don't like go like being like, oh, you said there'd be a unit there, then there's no unit there, then so congratulations, you just got Sega. Sorry. but there's definitely a lot of reason to believe that there might be something more in this, because that's just a strange option for them to present things, right? You know, in that regard, if there's nothing there, like why the hell would I want to run the LTQ to get triggers to do this if there's nothing worthwhile in there? That doesn't even make sense. Like okay, you know, it's like okay, like what, like just for a title? Like what's the title give me? Does the title just give me augment vouchers, like 2 of them, or like you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm the most intrigued about this one. And then, of course, we already knew this. However, we have the new anime collab coming. Everyone's looking forward to this one. This one is actually going to be pretty good because the camos in this one, the outfits in this one are pretty darn good. I have to say myself, they're pretty darn good. Honestly, in terms of scratches, July is freaking phenomenal. Like, quite frankly, in terms of scratches, July is probably like off the charts. Like, realistically speaking, it's probably off the charts, man. But this one looks really good. This one looks super good. The camos on this thing look amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. That is most certain. Absolutely. So be sure to check this out. There's going to be lots of goodies, login bonuses, all the things of the sort. And, dude, like I said, them camos and them outfits, man, they're good. I've never actually seen this anime, so I actually have no idea what the hell it's actually about. I mean, he gave a brief rundown of it, but I mean, it just seems like your basic isekai, right? It's like the story just seemed like your basic isekai, like all the hundreds of thousands of the isekais that there are. So I mean, it doesn't. I'm sorry, I've literally watched thousands of anime. I apologize if it doesn't just like catch my attention off the jump. It's another isekai. So I apologize, but nonetheless, it looks interesting, I guess. I find it kind of funny that I came right after Lelouch, because I'm kind of getting Lelouch vibes from this. Like, honestly speaking, like kind of getting very Lelouchish vibes from it. And even like the background story kind of even seemed like it, honestly. Like, very similar, it seems like. But except for it's not Isekai. Lelouch isn't, so. But these emotions, dude, are super nice as well. And just everything here, these emotes are the dash emotion. It's just crazy, man. It's just good. And then there's the purple. The purple. Of course, this naturally catches my attention because I'm a gameplay player. I'm a gameplay player first. So this naturally catches my attention because Alio rank 3. The mobs are boosted in level to make them more difficult. And you're giving us a new purple rank. There better be something worthwhile of a new drop in here. This better not be the same exact loophole of the other ranks. You feel me? If it is, that's going to be upsetting. Very much so. Sure, I'm stoked to go in there and get the title, which I'm sure I'll get very easily because they've been making the content very easy. Look. It's fine. I know y'all need easy content. I understand. I understand the majority of the player base needs easier content. Actually, I don't know if that's really the case. Maybe the more vocal needs the easier content, but maybe the actual majority wants the hard content. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't know. Either way, I'm looking forward to this because new purple, new bosses, and new ways to challenge yourself, challenge your skills. And of course, as you can see here, he mentions there's master cubes in here, as well as augment transfer pass vouchers by completing tasks for this. The only thing about that is that because they're advertising this, makes me think that there's not anything else in there because they're advertising the title task. So that makes me a little skeptical. Just a little bit. But we'll see. And then there's the big news. The M.A.R.S system. Of course. This is the M.A.R.S system, which we knew about for a while now, and we got some more detail last week in Dengeki, and now we're seeing some actual footage of it, and this stuff looks rather freaking crazy. I will tell you that. Absolutely freaking crazy. This is going to be coming on the 31st of July, so at the very end of the month. So we have some time for it, but this system looks absolutely bonkers. I have no idea how the hell this system is even going to be really implemented and how it's going to change the way the game plays, period. Like, I honestly don't even know. Like, how is this going to, is everything going to become just super easy with this? I'm really curious about this because I feel like everything just becomes super easy with this, right? Like, these things look super strong, like absurdly so. Like, it's like if a giant Donkey Kong came out and started punching Godzilla, and then they like merged together and they formed ZILLAKONG or something like that. Dude, I don't know, but it looks freaking like this thing looks crazy. It looks absolutely nutty. So I have no idea. But either way, we're looking forward to that. That comes out, like I said, the end of the month. That's a whole new system. We touched on this in the previous video, a couple, I think 2 or 3 videos back. The one that we cover the Dengeki interview, we cover everything in there. So we already talked about this and how this one works in all the regards, and how it has a gauge and how it builds up and the times on it, the time constraints on it, and so. So I'm not going to go over that. If you want to hear that, I have videos for that. If you have not subscribed already, then subscribe to the channel because you are missing out on some of the best information on the fucking web by not being here. Now, to cover the roadmap in detail, aside from what we just kind of said at the beginning, which was the most alarming thing, which was the fact that we saw no stories on here. All in all, the roadmap is kind of what I expected to see. A lot of people were surprised that we're going to Alia, a new high-ranking Alia, before we go to Stia. I'm not sure why y'all are surprised by this. I was talking, I had mentioned months ago when we kind of got the time scale for Nameless up pretty much half a year ago, when we saw that Nameless city was coming in June. And I was kind of like, okay, well, I don't think that they can really fit in like Stia in here, with the way that the roadmap looks. I'm pretty sure we're kind of skipping Stia. It's not getting like a full rework, or at least not right now. So I'm not sure why people are very surprised by this. Because that was kind of, I thought it was pretty obvious. I mentioned it multiple times in my video. So congrats, I guess, if you weren't watching my videos. And now be sure to subscribe so we don't miss out in the future when I say things like that. Anyways, this is pretty neat, though, because we're getting some ultra high difficulty quests that are coming up. We are getting new ranks, of course, for these new areas and some limited time quests galore. The tech expansion comes in October, which we were aware of, as well as a level cap increase of 95 and a new item lab feature. This new item lab feature is also going to be something of the sort of weapon customizations. So this will be interesting, very much so. And so that like you use weapons, you need this weapon, or this weapon, and you can create this other weapon. So this will be an interesting system that we will see emerging into the game that we're looking forward to. And as well as some more high difficulty solo quests. This will be different than the Death Eyes, different than the dual quests, but a solo quest nonetheless. So this will be interesting to see. And lastly, we see a colossal boss with a level cap raise of 100 in February to March of 2025. Now, like I said, the biggest thing on here is that there is no story update listed in this roadmap. And that is the most alarming thing by far. So, like I said, I hope that that's just an oversight. Otherwise, the rest of it looks fine. Hopefully, that's just an oversight. I do not know for sure. There's no way to know for sure, but yeah. Also, you might note that the tech arts customization got pushed back to December, January portion. This was supposed to be in October originally. This was supposed to come October, November, in the same expansion with the Techer expansion. They mentioned this. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Sometimes you're gonna get delays like that. So, but all in all, we have expansions to Lucille, to Nameless, to Ordinal Tower. That's good. We all know how much I love Lucille as well, so I'm glad that they're expanding that. Also, expansions mean, why are you expanding it? It's going to be some new stuff, some new units. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're back here again. We're back here again. So let's hope that that's the case, but we'll see what happens ultimately. And I did want to stop here to address this question because honestly, it's a very great question. In the regards that it's a great question that you should never be asking. I have no idea why you were asking this question at all. I have no idea who asked this, why you asked this, or if this was just, they just kind of injected it into it and no one actually asked it. But to be fair, someone asked it. Like, let's be realistic. We know how this community is. Someone asked this question. I assure you of that. Someone asked this question. but woo, that is an absurd question to ask. I tell you what, that's like 3-4 seconds or something like that of the eating animation. Like, it is not that serious, dude. It's not that serious. Lastly, they noted that the next collaboration will be Shangri-La, so we'll see how that one turns out. There can be more information on the next headline, which will fall on the 23rd of July. So this is also, this is before the new ARM system comes out as well. So they'll have a little bit more information in there for that following week when it does get released on the 31st. So that kind of wraps up what this was. So basically my biggest takes in this thing were, of course, for one, the campaigns that we're getting so many treasure scratches. We're getting this crazy PSO2 Infinite that lasts for 7 days, 14 days if you're premium, which is crazy. We're getting these 150 scratch tickets. We're getting these, you get like 6 tickets a day. And then you get tickets from the Urgent Quest as well for the new treasure scratch that lasts for 3 weeks. We get double Urgent Quests. It's just, there's a lot. Like, in terms of July, there is a lot. Just in general. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in terms of like the units or whatever drops from that new boss, that new LTQ. But just in terms of having reason to get on, there is a lot for the entire month. Just period. There's don't miss out on that because it's too easy. It's too easy to just stack up on stuff. If not for just that, to stack up on stuff. Just do that if that's what you want to do. Just make sure you take advantage of it because that's a lot to just be giving us like that. So that's like the main thing. And then of course the purple as well. And the LTQ. So those are kind of like the big things there. Once again, we'll close with the roadmap because that was a very questionable, but no story. I cannot put enough emphasis on that. That if that's actually what the roadmap is, with no story in there, until February, March of 2025, that is highly problematic. And I mean highly problematic. So anyways, enjoy yourselves. Happy hunting. Be sure to like and subscribe. Much love as always. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think. You know, I always love engaging in conversations within here. Of course, remember, we are cordial community. We are a respectful community. We don't come in here talking crazy. If you wouldn't say these things in a public setting with someone with a rock in their hand standing in front of you who's very angry, then don't say it in my comments. Okay, just view it like that. Okay, if you wouldn't say it in that scenario, then just don't say it in my comments. We in here to have a great discussion, to be constructive with it, to talk about things. We can disagree. I'm all about disagreeing. It's fine to disagree. It's great to disagree. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. Disagreeing is great, but be cordial, be respectful about disagreeing. Ain't nobody got time for the nonsense. Anyways, be sure to like and subscribe. Much love, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Hubba. SWIMSUITS content.